It's a mild and murky November morning at Brodick Bay on the Isle of Arran. Gathered around the port here, a microbrewery, a golf course, outdoor clothing outlets, and proud little factories for cheese, chocolate, and aromatics. The retail opportunities alone are sufficient to draw mainlanders, and it has a rich source of these from the great sprawl of Glasgow and North Ayrshire, just a few miles across the Firth of Clyde. And then there's the lure of the great outdoors. At the island's northern outpost of Lochranza, where the bicycle and I are now heading, seasonal holiday accommodation accounts for nearly half of the properties in the village. This weekend, one of those properties has my name on it, but today the great outdoors between me and it is not so alluring. A track of muddy puddles leads up a grassy rise to Cnoc Cottage, my journey's end. From the underfloor heated, north-facing conservatory, I watch the post van bounce and slosh its way onto the main road. Arran is only a short ferry hop from Scotland's most populated region, and its former status within the jurisdictional bosom of Argyll and Bute has been lost to the less favourable clutches of North Ayrshire. But the northern end of Arran is a place of mountains and glens, and resonates with all that is most essential about Scotland's western seaboard. A fusion of rugged elemental beauty and the melancholic echoes of the past, when the heather peatlands and remote coastal inlets were evicted of their small tenant communities. At Catacol, a small row of cottages known as the 12 Apostles stand solidly along the shore, looking out across the Kintyre Peninsula. They were built to house families cleared from the glens by the Duke of Hamilton, at least the few not dispatched across the ocean for a new, unknown life in Quebec. Each first-floor window is designed differently, and the story goes that when illuminated by a candle, the men out at sea could each identify their own house. In places such as this, the annals and register books of time seem more palpable. Their contents stretch backwards along the winding coast road, over the scrubby headlands and beyond the gloomy contours of peat bog and hill. Counted out through harvests and storms, births, weddings and deaths. A canvas for the simple but noble imperatives of human endeavour, to live and love and work, and when possible, to celebrate. And behind stone walls, where faded pictures hang to mark the family lineage, old clocks still tick defiantly to break the roaring silence, their whirring cogs a last faithful measure of what is gone. But in the sigh of the seashore, and the moaning of the moor, from the wailing of the seabirds and the brittle hiss of wind-torn gorse, comes also the reassurance of nature's persisting force. It its bleakest gaze teaches timeless forms of beauty, and from its wide, indifferent spaces we learn to appreciate the comfort of the hearthside. And so we stand, moulded by its rigours, like the bent and blasted trees on the bluffs above the sea, to honour the past and embrace the present. Such a precarious position is rawly felt in this quiet, solitary winter place, where bitter and sweet mingle brackishly, where the sorrow and joy of being human starts to loosen the distinction between self and others. A tumbling underground river, running strong and deep, carrying all emotion with it, through sunless chambers and over unseen stones of broken hearts and endless hopes. It is the fluid, moving centre, the combined sum of all that we are, that can bubble through the faults and weaknesses in our elaborately spun fabrics of identity, in any place, at any instant.
And your words chased round and round in my head last night. They chased their own tails, and your words jigged round my mind all night. To look at me now, I'm quiet as sand. And the tide shrinks back into its womb, and I hope the empty shells and bones of your stories will litter and clutter the shore. And I hope that when I find them, I'll remember how they danced, and the racket they made when they were alive.
And always trying to remember that the seemingly loneliest place is also our sanctuary, and that a step over the threshold marked solitude is a step towards home. The place from where we first ventured to see the world, to where we must sometimes retreat by accident or design to reflect or hide or just rest, and where also at the very last, and by the very nature of things, we must finally return. That darkness is merely the absence of light, and that where human hearts shine, the darkness cannot be. That in those homeward steps beside that underground river it really is possible to feel achingly mortal, but still savour the miracle of being gloriously, magnificently here, and for a little longer yet.